Hello and welcome to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is the most important time of the year. It is season 9. It is episode 3. It is 353 episodes overall. We will be ranking running backs. I'm Sinch.
I'm Craig.
I'm Britt.
Damn it.
Perfect.
What? We did fine. It sounds fun. Listen, we all know the roundtable episodes are a shit show.
That's how we get this in the correct amount of time. You say the top 3, you say 4 to 6, I'll say 7 to 9. We'll say it at the same time. We'll move on.
Exactly.
Everybody talk at the same time and it'll be fine. Gentlemen, we have a lot to go over tonight. Quinshon Judkins was arrested recently. We have news on NFL Network. We have Bears training camp drama already. NFL teams have reported, but first, let's start where we always start. Let's start with our favorite contributor, Sinch. Sinch, what are you drinking?
I have a famous old-fashioned Sinch recipe old-fashioned, and it's really good.
We need to give it a fancy, international sounding name, like Don Cincho's.
It is Cinch's old-fashioned equalizer.
I like that. I'm down with that. I know you love these, and they're reportedly very good. We have to come over and try one sometime soon.
Yes.
Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
I don't have beer, but I do have soda and vodka, which is really just seltzer and vodka, but, it works.
So I have a bottle of beer in front of me that may have, at this moment, more alcohol content than either of your drinks. I'm not sure yet because I'm scared to try it. But I was watching Christmas cruise videos recently, which was a mistake because now my wife wants to take a very expensive river cruise. But I found deep in the back of my cabinet 3 bottles of Two Roads Holiday Ale.
Oh.
From 2020.
Oh.
These have been sitting, slowly gathering strength for almost 5 years.
Wow.
And I am going to try and consume one and hope I don't die.
You just had them, you just forgot about them, or were you purposely aging them?
I don't even know anymore. Okay. 2020 feels like a lifetime ago, so I don't even know what my thought process was. But I've opened it, I chilled it. I'm opening it and I'm going in. Let's see what happens here.
So what will your second bear be this evening?
He has to get through the
I got
first
a Road to
one.
Ruin. I've got a Road to Ruin in the bag.
Well,
okay,
how was it?
It's fine. Whoa. That beer bypassed my stomach and just went straight into my head.
Oh no, it's going to be another double ruffled.
Oh, double ruffled. The only bad beer. But there's a good reason we bring that up, because we have a major announcement before we get into our stuff tonight. We are hosting a live taping of the Football Fignuts podcast. That's right, Fignuts Live, August 20th at Two Roads Brewing Company in Stratford, Connecticut. So if you are local to the Stratford, Connecticut area, this is a free and open event, an opportunity for you to come and sit and watch us do what we do. Invites are on Facebook. We're just doing invites just because, a head count is what the brewery asked for. They really want to know how many chairs is set up. So that's really what it is. That's all we're doing that for. But yeah, definitely August 20th. Start time for recording will be 7 p.m. Doors are at 6:30. We'd love for as many people to come and join us as possible. So, all right. And I'll probably talk more about that as we go on. But like I said, we have so much to talk about tonight. So let's get right into burning hot takes. I'm going to jump in and go first.
Okay.
I'm going to do something I never do. And I'm going to go first because 2 hours ago, on July 23rd, 2025, Sports Illustrated and Yahoo both reiterated reporting from The Atlantic. Andrew Marchand says that ESPN is in the final stages, quote, the closest it's ever been, end quote, to acquiring the NFL Network.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that they are so close, there are sources inside the league saying that owners have been notified there may need to be a last-minute scheduled call at the beginning of August, which is only like 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away, in order to ratify a deal.
Wow.
Now, the reaction to this has been largely negative. before I give you the pushback and what people are saying, I want to hear from each of you. What do you think about ESPN possibly acquiring the NFL Network?
Okay, I'll go.
Oh, you go. I didn't know who wanted to go first. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's what I think. The NFL, the owners, the commissioner could not be greedier than they are. There is no other reason. They do not lack for funding. There's just no reason. Why would they sell something that they have? This is their domain. This is their thing. They could say, do whatever they want at any time. And even if they did, to counter my own point that I just made, if ESPN did anything to piss off the NFL, they could just not give ESPN anything. So, I mean, the next package that's up, I don't even remember. Is ESPN still doing, what is it, Monday Night Football, I think, is ESPN now?
Yes. Yes, they have Monday Night Football.
All of the CBS, I believe the CBS, the Fox, and NBC, I think if I'm not mistaken, their contracts are up at the end of this year.
Maybe, I have no idea.
I mean, who knows what the future holds? We might have the Fox package might become the Amazon Prime package. The Sunday Night Football might be on Netflix. It's a topsy-turvy world. I'm drinking. I don't know. I don't like it. I hate ESPN.
Yeah, I knew you weren't going to happy because you've never liked ESPN. That's fair. Craig, what do you got?
So yeah, I mean, it's clearly it has to do with money, but from a consumer point of view, NFL streaming is terrible. Not DirecTV, not the Sunday Ticket, but like the NFL Network streaming of shows and games is god awful.
Yeah.
So
good luck signing into them with your cable access.
So, you know, like with the NFL Network, yeah, I do like their fantasy football like draft board, and that's cool. But if you try to watch a game on it, it's a very terrible experience. And at the very least, ESPN streaming is pretty solid. They know what they're doing, and I barely ever have an issue with it. So from a consumer point of view, again, depending on whatever they charge for it, or if it becomes part of the ESPN Plus package, whatever, it's better for the consumer end of it, depending on the price of what they do with it, I think.
So the reaction to this is largely negative, but largely negative, according to Yahoo Sports, centered around Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith, because ESPN has done everything in its power to make sure you know exactly who they are, that they will be on every hour on the hour, either in scheduled blocks or appearances. So some of the quotes from Twitter, because I refuse to call it anything but Twitter, quote, 7 hours of commercial-free football, says Pat McAfee as I hurl myself into a volcano. If it's 7 hours of commercial-free football with Stephen A., please kill me. Don't touch RedZone. Let Scott be Scott. I don't want guest appearances. I don't want Pat McAfee. I don't want Stephen A. drop-ins. Leave it alone. One person just said a preview of what ESPN will turn RedZone into the Pat McAfee show, watching RedZone, and put up a picture of Peter Griffin boarding a gun and then shooting himself in the head. Yeah, I think this one was written by Sinch. ESPN once again will ruin something I love. Here, we all know this is the direction we're moving in. We see this, right? This happens all the time in broadcasting and in media. A million outlets spring up, then they condense down, then people spring up again. This is kind of a cycle, right? We saw this. Fox. Remember when there was only 3 networks, kids? Yeah, okay, so for those of you under the age of 30, once upon a time, Fox wasn't a network. You watched CBS, NBC, or ABC, and you fucking liked it. The end. And then all of a sudden, Fox came around, and they were like what the hell, nobody cares network. And then they came up with a little show called The Simpsons, and the rest is history. But, I mean, we saw the CW, UPN, the WB. This is what happens. Little networks, they're big companies, but little networks sprout up, fail or get bought out, and then like 5 to 10 years, we repeat the process. NFL Network's been around for like 20 years at this point? It's not a little network but this is what we see. ESPN will be ESPN until it's finally challenged, and don't tell me Fox Sports challenges ESPN. As long as Colin Cowherd is your draw, you're not challenging ESPN. The most conceited broadcaster in all of opinionated sports talk. No, just can't. But I think I do dislike both Stephen A. and Pat McAfee from a broadcasting standpoint. Stephen A. Smith to me, and then I'll wrap up my rant because I'm halfway through this beer and I think I can see the future. Stephen A. Smith is the sports equivalent of Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures. And if you've never seen Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins is the host, but he always finds a way to like over dramatize a random object. Craig, tell me an object you see in your house right now.
I see a pack of Tic Tacs.
A pack of Tic Tacs. This pack of Tic Tacs has been here through multiple murders, seen divorce and suffering. Has demonic entities possessed these Tic Tacs? Are these mints of doom? That's what he does. He over dramatizes everything. And Stephen A. Smith is the same thing. Stephen A. Smith can have a bad breakfast and he comes on ESPN and he's like, the croissant was salty. The croissant was salty. And you're like, dude, it's a fucking croissant. Settle down. It's just over dramatization. So I can't take him seriously. The fact that he's getting into politics is just kind of like.
Then he makes it about race.
Yeah. And the fact that French people made this croissant for a black man. Okay, dude, settle down. It's a goddamn croissant from a store. You didn't fly to France and buy a croissant at a pastry shop. You went to Big Y. Okay, settle down. So I can't take either of them seriously. And I think it's legitimate that fans are like, oh God, ESPN has shoved these two personalities down our throat. And if they get NFL Network, they're just going to continue to do it. So I don't think it's a good idea either, but I understand you guys are both right. The owners are greedy and they're going to do whatever makes them money. So, did I mention how much I dislike Pat McAfee and Stephen A. style? Because I do. Just saying.
I think you did. You might have.
Okay, good. Sinch, what's burning with you tonight?
Well, it's not football related.
Good.
Here's my burning hot take question that I have in my mind. I read yesterday an article on what's the wording that they used? It was something along the lines of, we don't age evenly. We have spurts that we age quickly in this amount of time.
And I've had doctors tell me that.
They referenced 40, 60, and 80. That when you hit this age, your cells die off, your immunity system breaks down more, you're more likely to come down with cancer and other diseases. So my question, based on what I read, is, and always will be, my question is, at what age do we hit that it's like, okay, that sore back that you feel now, that's going to be with you the rest of your life?
5.
No, come on. This is a serious question. I want to know an answer.
For me personally, probably since high school. So
yeah,
I'm used
I was
to
going to say 18
I'm
to
used
20.
to things hurting. So it doesn't really...
you're missing my point. I mean, yeah, things are always achy and sore, but
the bounce back goes away.
I've been achy. I've hurt for no reason. I'm past that. What I mean is, this thing that's bothering you, it's going to require surgery, or you're going to be crippled. Or this thing that is bothering you is going to lead to this, and you'll need surgery. And I don't. This isn't anything about me. I'm just kind of. Is it like 2 years from now, and then I have to worry about that? That's my question.
You're talking to a guy who's blown out his left knee 3 times, starting at the age of 15. So for me, it was 15. That was the first time my doctor was like, "Your knee will heal, but it's never going to be the same. It's just never going to be the same." So I really started to notice my bounce back declining around the age of 35. And I'll tell you where I saw it is when I would go out. And I don't even mean drinking. I could go out when I was in college. There were nights I left work at 7:00, showered, was at a party by 8, got home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and got up to go back to work at 6 a.m. on 3 hours sleep. If I tried to do that now, I would drive into a telephone pole on my way to work at 6:30 in the morning.
Intentionally.
Maybe. But so I'm gonna say mid-30s for me, but I'll tell you really quickly, I've worn glasses since I was like 12. When I was in my mid-30s, I changed my doctor, and my doctor said to me, "You don't need to see me again until you're like 40, 45. And I'm like, "They say you should do this every year." And he goes, "Yeah, that's bullshit." He goes, there's these buckets where your vision shifts. He goes, based on everything I've seen about you, you don't need to see me for 5 years. So I waited 5 years to go back. I went back when I was 40, and the same doctor said, your vision is essentially the same. Don't come back for 3 years. I came back when I was 43, and he was like, oh yeah, here we go. You need to see me every year from now on. And every year since then, my prescription has changed. Every year. Didn't change, changed once in 10 years. And it's changed every year with the same doctor since. So I'm going to say the 35 to 40 range is where I really started to see a noticeable meltdown in recovery and just how my body functioned.
Well, that's just sad.
But what's sad? We get old. It happens.
But hey, your doctor was right though about that.
Oh my God, the optometrist was I love this guy. That's why I keep going. He's moved. He works for Lens Crafters. He's moved 3 times. I follow him. I go on the Lens Crafters site and I go look for this. I think his name is Dr. Stephen Capri or something like that. So there you go. Stephen Capri from the Milford area.
No free plugs.
Free plug for Dr. Stephen Capri. And he sits there and he's like, he seems the same company. It's just the location changes. And he looks at my file and he goes, you've been coming to me for a while. I was like, yeah, because you told me how it was. I'm here. Anyway, Craig, do you have anything further on that? Or are you just old? You were old since you were 15.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think I have that mutant gene where I can sleep for 4 hours and be fine. But other than that, yeah.
I've never known someone who sleeps less than Craig. Never known someone who sleeps less than Craig.
If I get 3 hours of straight sleep, I can function normally.
I haven't gotten more than 5 hours of sleep since the end of June. I've had terrible sleeping pattern, and I felt like a zombie every day by like noon. So no. Craig, what's burning with you tonight?
What's burning for me tonight is, well, this is it's really about a different position, but does it really matter? It's really just a take.
It's a burning hot take. You can do whatever you want.
All right. Jerry Jones, everyone's favorite guy, Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dear God.
Presented by Jerry Jones.
Hold on. All right, go on.
He had an interview recently because training camp started about the issues the Cowboys have with their injured quarterback, and then issues with Micah Parsons, which then caused Micah Parsons to post stuff online.
He showed up for camp, though.
He did show up for camp. Is this the end? Do you think this is the official beginning of the end of the current form of the Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboys, with how much drama is happening in mid-July already?
So I'm going to go first and be really quick about this. No, because there's always drama around this team. It is not the start of the decline. They've been in the decline since Barry Switzer got there. But like any great empire, declines take time. So no, this is just a continuation of Jerry Jones being wrong about being the smartest person in the room. And this will continue to happen for as long as he runs the team. The end. Sinch?
Like a good podcast partner, I will play devil's advocate and argue the other side.
Ooh, I like that. Go.
I believe Jerry Jones speaks for his version of the overall picture of the Dallas Cowboys. I think his son, who is the GM, whatever you think, they always seem to have good talent. I think his son, the GM, does a good job. I think Jerry talks about what he thinks is going on from way up high in the 80-something-year-old guy's head. So I think, I just put this out there. What if the head coach of the Cowboys, formerly known as an offensive coordinator, and that's how Jerry Jones introduced him, not by his name, just by that. What if he is the next, I don't know, Sean Payton? You know, what if he comes from a football family? He's been around forever. He's been seeing football and breaking down film with his father forever. What if he's good? They always seem to have talent. They brought in George Pickens, and before you laugh, they don't need him to do everything. They need him to do like one thing. CeeDee Lamb will do everything. So I'm just saying, what if it works?
I mean,
that's what I heard. That's what I heard when they hired Barry Switzer, Chan Gailey, Dave Campo, Bill Parcells, Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett, and Mike McCarthy.
Yes, but you can't stop trying because it didn't work previously. You still have to keep trying. And like I said, I may or may not even believe what I just said. I'm playing devil's advocate. There is a reason they've done something differently than they did last year and the year before that. So I just posed that question. They're bringing in a new guy to be the head coach. This is his chance. Maybe they catch lightning in a bottle. They've got a running back that Javon Williams. I don't think he's great, but what if he's solid? If you're solid as a running back, you'll get 1,000 yards because that's all you got to do is be solid. They bring in Pickens. That's an additional solid, good receiver. I'm just saying it could work.
Okay, fair enough. Craig, what are your thoughts?
Just given the history, I mean, Sinch is right. You have to just keep trying. But given the history of the Cowboys, since the dynasty they had in the 90s, I don't know if it's going to work. And now with who's the head coach is, I don't know if this team's going to be able to tackle anymore. I'm just saying.
I did hear two interesting pieces of information that I wish I had had last week. Sirius Fantasy Sports Radio brought up 2 points about Dak. Dak, every season he's played a minimum of 15 games, has gone over 4,000 yards. The problem is half his seasons he hasn't gotten there. The other thing is that...
Wait, let me jump in. And the Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. Okay, go ahead.
And I don't think you've even had a 3,000-yard passer. But that's okay. I totally lost my train of thought. Where was I going?
I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person. Dak, every year that he's played 15 games.
And Dak's points per game is statistically higher, like noticeably higher, and I don't remember the exact numbers, when he plays indoors. And this year they have 10 of their 17 games indoors. So the question for the Cowboys to be successful, at least offensively, is can Dak stay healthy? And so I don't know. I'm tired of hearing every year is the Cowboys' year and then watching them go 6-11. I'm just tired of it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. They must have bought tickets. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's usually by week.
All right, guys. We got to move on. I got to move on to my second beer. That was a soda you heard opening before, so I got to open my second beer. But it is time to get into our running back rankings. And we have some pretty interesting takes here. So let's just get right into our rankings. The first tier is very easy. We have the same three that everybody else has. We have Saquon Barkley and Bijan Robinson tied as a consensus number one.
Ooh.
The only reason Bijan was not the overall number one is because Sinch put him at fourth instead of in the top three. Interesting take, but oh my God. Sinch rated one of the top three guys at 4. Oh, that's not going to move the meter, folks. It might have cost Bijan the solo spot by himself, but that's not going to move the meter for us. Barkley and Robinson tied for first, and Gibbs at number 3 overall. Barkley, Robinson, Gibbs. You got the pick. You want to go running back. Which of those three are you trusting? Let's start with Sinch.
I cannot trust Barkley. I'll let him burn me. I'll let him go and have this great season again and make me look foolish. But he had the second most touches in NFL history last season.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Greek goddess, Greek god, but I just don't see the chances that position holding up. I just expect him to get banged up. And it's just for that one reason alone that if I have the first overall pick, I would not take Barkley.
And yet you did put Barkley at 1 on your consensus rankings, but you're sitting there saying, for me, you acknowledge that Barkley's going to be really good, but there's so much risk involved, you're not comfortable.
He deserves to be the first overall running back. I have, for me, the first grouping, I have 4 guys that I think are all close enough to equal. And Derrick Henry was the other one that for me. So any one of those guys, they're all in the same tier.
Interesting. Craig, who do you trust most?
Out of those 3, I think I would have to go with Bijan, personally.
I'm starting to come around on Bijan.
I think they're going to use him a lot,
especially
with them having he's not a rookie anymore. Freshly drafted quarterback in his second year.
He only played maybe 7 or 8 games.
He did, but he's going to start.
Oh, Penix?
Yeah. Penix. And I think they're going to lean on him. They're going to lean on Robinson a lot due to that. So I think I'd go Robinson for those 3.
I'm the other person who did not rate Bijan Robinson a high. I put him at number 3. I put Gibbs at 1. I still think Detroit's a really powerful offense, even though I do think I'm going to see a step backwards from Goff, generally speaking. I think their offense is just really high powered. But you know what? The bottom line is there's no wrong answer there. Those 3 guys, If they all stay healthy, they're all going to be amazing, amazing contributors. And of the three, the worst injury history absolutely, and the worst mileage rests with Saquon Barkley. So to Sinch's point. Moving down the list, Derrick Henry, we have at number 4 overall. Then we have Ashton Jeanty, the new Vegas Raiders running back, at number 5. We have Christian McCaffrey at number 6. And we have Devon Achane at number 7. I want to stop there because I want to ask Sinch. Since you put Devon Achane at 14 overall, you put him outside the top 10. He averaged 22.6 points per game with Tua Tagovailoa last year. Is your assessment on Achane concerns about his health, concerns about Tua's health, or concerns about the Dolphins in general?
It's all of the above.
All of the above. Fair, that's a fair answer.
Also, the fact that I'm projecting the Dolphins to take a major step backwards. I think Tyreek Hill could be traded. I think Achane had a great season. I don't think he could do it again. I think he'll be a part-time, not that he's splitting carries, but part-time because he's hurt. So you could definitely draft him. I could see myself drafting him, just not as highly as everyone else.
Craig, you also put Achane relatively lower than the rest of the group. You have him at 8th on your list. Do you echo Sinch's sentiments, or do you have other concerns?
Pretty much what Sinch said.
Yay!
Given his concussion history, words, and the overall Dolphins just being, they have no interest in winning apparently. So I don't trust the Dolphins offense either. So that's why.
Yeah. Also,
their coach is number 1 on coaches on the hot seat. So if they get off to a 1-4, you could see a new coach in there, new game plan. Maybe they don't have Tua doing the quick little dump off. And I'm just saying, everything could change quickly if my guessing what could happen. I'm saying he's a solid, very good running back that I would put in probably like the 3rd tier of running back.
Okay, really quick. I just want to go and look. All right, I'm going to give you the first 5 games for the Dolphins. You tell me their record, right? They're at the Colts. They're at home against the Pats. They're at the Bills on a Thursday night. Excuse me. Important to note, Thursday night at Bills. They're home against the Jets. And then they're at the Panthers. I'm going to put them at 3-2 after 5 games, personally. What do you guys think? Because Sinch's point is valid. This guy's on the hot seat.
I'm going to say 2-3.
Okay.
You know, it's really weird because if you told me they went 5-0, it wouldn't shock me. If you told me they went 0-5, that wouldn't shock me.
Wow.
I have no idea.
There's that much flux there for you.
Well, they're opening on the road in Indy. I don't think Indy's going to be great, but would it shock you if Indy won? You know, that could happen.
Yes.
The Patriots are an up-and-coming team. I know I'm a Patriot fan, so I'm more positive. But they are an up-and-coming team. They have a good head coach now. Who knows? It's not like they couldn't beat the Dolphins. The Bills could beat the Dolphins. The Panthers were up and coming in the second half of last season. If they continue to take a step forward, I'm saying anything could happen with those 5 games.
Fair point. All right, back to our list. Number 8, we have Josh Jacobs out of Green Bay. We're pretty united on this. Everybody has him between 7 and 10. Bucky Irvin comes at number 9. I am not high on the Bucky Irvin train, and Sean's even lower, but he's not here, so we'll leave him alone. Jonathan Taylor comes in at number 10. So 8, 9, 10 is Jacobs, Irving, Taylor. We're going to go a little beyond the top 10 before we break again. Kyron Williams comes at 11. Since you had Kyron Williams all the way up at 5, but there is literally talk about them trying to bring in anybody to get him out. Do you think Kyron Williams plays his entire season as a Ram?
Yes. I think
you're talking to unseat him.
You're talking about a running back who wants a contract. That's what that is. And my personal feelings aside, he has shown enough as a running back in the NFL that he deserves a second contract. What I've always said.
What?
I've always said, don't give a running back a second contract unless it's team friendly. If he's saying that he wants, I couldn't even, $28 million a season, that seems like it would be too much for a running back. If I'm the Rams, I would say, I'm sorry, we're not going to do that. So if push comes to shove and they trade him, sure. Could that happen? Sure. But my feelings in the NFL is trades so rarely happen. If you say, do you think this guy's going to be traded? My gut feeling is no, because usually they don't get traded.
I don't remember Sinch ever saying the unless part of that. I've always heard never give a running back a second quarter.
It was always never. It was always never.
I've always said that. There's guys that deserve to hang around for long periods of time with the same team, but they're doing that because they're not trying to break the bank. They're doing that because they could get $8 million and they could get $7 million, and it's a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal per year. That's why those guys hang around. James White with the Patriots, perfect example. He never got a lot of money, but he was always there. He played with them until he retired.
You ever hear those jokes about if people are like, if you ever hear that I'm drinking a Fresca, it means I've been abducted and it's a cry for help. I almost feel like Sinch adding this unless part is like the abduction. Like someone is Sinch, blink twice if Kyron Williams has a gun to your head right now.
I'm telling you, go to the videotape. It's always been there.
All right, I believe him. But Sinch has been famous of saying you never give a running back a second contract. If there was an unless there, I must have missed it.
And for years, I've been telling you, Aaron Rodgers isn't that good. I mean, like when he was winning MVPs, I was saying, yeah, there's something missing. This guy, this is our 9th season. I've been saying it for at least 10 years.
You and Chris Collinsworth. Now, here's a guy. All right. So Kyron Williams at 11. 12, Chase Brown. We're going to put Sinch on the spot again here. Every other member of this podcast has Chase Brown between 9 and 13 overall. Since you had him all the way down at 23, tell us why Chase Brown is so low for you.
Because I don't like him. The problem I have with Chase Brown isn't personal. He's on the Bengals. They're a team that wants to wants to throw the ball. If they're running the ball, it's just because they want to set up the pass, so they're going to run it. I'm not knocking his talent or his ability. I'll just let all you guys draft him first.
I mean, that's fair.
Interesting.
It's a fair assessment.
And, what are we talking about? Where'd you guys rank him? Like 15-ish?
We have him anywhere between 9 and 13.
Okay.
I'm the highest with him at 9, and Craig is the second lowest at 13, and you have him at 23.
Okay. I mean, the way I feel about it, the way to think about grading and ranking running backs is when you're drafting, you're running back in this tier, whichever tier we're talking about. If we're in the 3rd round, are you going to take George Kittle or are you going to take your 12th ranked running back? That's what you have to look at. This guy over this guy. If you just want to say running back number 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine, but it doesn't mean anything. Running back 4 could be just as good as 1, and 8 could be just as good as 23, and it's just tiers. It's just tiers. It's nothing personal. I don't like the cut of his jib, okay?
I would take Chase Brown over George Kittle in that situation easily because he only had 990 yards rushing, but he did catch 54 passes for 360 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. There is no one else there. The next guy down on the list is Samaj Pirine, who is literally there saying, "I'll be on a 3rd down. Call me when it's 3rd down."
He is good at those.
I'm gonna go over. He's great at it. He did a great job as a Chief. He was great as a Bengal, but he is not going to steal carries or targets or any of those kinds of things in the consistent passing game or the consistent offense. So I do think Chase Brown is going to be way better. I think he's an RB1 personally. Craig, jump in here, defend your Bengal, or tell me I'm insane.
No, excuse me. I think he's very talented. He has the potential to be an RB1 fantasy-wise, maybe a low-end RB1. But I totally understand Sinch's argument that the Bengals are a pass offense first.
Sure.
So yes, they are going to use him for setups, but I think he's still going to have a lot of chances to get, pretty big yardage games.
Sure.
Because you can't throw all the time, especially when the weather is crappy. So.
All right, moving on because we're already running short on time. I looked over the clock and I'm like, holy crap. So Chase Brown 12. 13 is Kenneth Walker III, who plays for Seattle, just in case Sean's listening. James Cook at Buffalo, number 14 overall. We all have him in the 12 to 16 range. No one's big on James Cook. A big name last year has fallen out of favor. Breece Hall at number 15. Craig and I are way down on him. James Conner at number 16. Alvin Kamara at 17. Joe Mixon at 18. I'm going to stop there. We're starting to get some older names. Cook, Hall, Conner, Kamara. they all have some mileage on them. It's, I heard somebody in the radio say every year someone predicts the downfall of James Conner and it just doesn't happen. I kind of feel like that for this group. Hall has just never proven himself. Cook, like Brown, is in a pass-first offense. Cook, Hall, Conner, Kamara. You got to roll with one of them. Who do you like? And let's start with Craig.
Out of this list and those names, I have to go with a guy I can't quit. It would be
Kamara. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara. Craig's been a Kamara truther since like 1999, which is amazing because Kamara was in high school. Yeah, since Kamara was in high school.
But yeah, out of those names, I think he has the most potential. Breece Hall, there's injury history. There's a new coach. I don't know what the Jets offense is going to look like. And he's still talented, yes.
Hasn't had 1,000 yards.
I had James Conner and James Cook last year. They're both consistent, and James Cook is, again, on a pass offense first team, but his receivers are all different now, so I don't know how that's going to look. And James Conner's in Arizona, and, well, we know how I feel about Arizona's offense.
Do we have a Call of Duty coming out this year?
Every year. Every end of October,
is it
beginning of
annual
November.
Now?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Sinch. Oh, I went through puberty there. Sinch, James Cook, Breece Hall, James Conner, Alvin Kamara. Who do you like?
I think Kamara and Conner are the solid guys that aren't going to give you a 2. They're going to give you 12 points or more. They're solid. They're always going to be there for you. Cook is a holdout in Buffalo. And I still I take issue with running backs on teams with quarterbacks who love to run the ball from the 2-yard line because you're going to have the TDs stolen from you. I think out of those 4, I would go with Breece Hall, maybe just because I could see his ceiling being the highest. Maybe the smart move would be to go with Kamara, who's on a terrible team, or Conner, who, again, is always solid. But I would go with Hall.
To your point, James Conner had 8 rushing touchdowns last year. So, yeah, when it comes down to he's a consistent goal line play, but the problem is they don't look for a consistent goal line play a lot with James Conner, unfortunately. So I hear you. I hear you there. I'm looking to see when he scored his touchdowns. Rushing. He had 3 rushing touchdowns in the first 4 weeks and still only ended up with 8. That's kind of telling. Number 18 rather on our list is Joe Mixon. I probably should have included him there, but hey, get on the train or don't. I don't care. Number 19 is Omari and Hampton out of LA. A lot of positive buzz about this kid, particularly with Najee Harris. That's where Najee is, right? Am I 2 beers in screwing that up?
That's
You're
where
right.
he is. That's where he is.
Okay, good. A lot of positive buzz, particularly with Harris getting hurt. Everyone on the pod has him between 19 and 22, except Sinch, who has him at number 10. Sinch, you're expecting a lot out of this rookie. Tell us why.
He's got the right coach. He's got maybe the best offensive line in the NFL. And I think he's just landing in the perfect spot. I've never been a Najee Harris fan. I think by week 8, Hampton's going to be the guy, and he's going to be the big story.
You had Hampton at 19, Craig, which was a notch higher than everybody other than Sinch. What do you think of Omari and Hampton? And again, camp's just started this week, so we're going based off seriously what little we know. What do you think of Hampton this year?
Again, the same as Sinch. He's on the right team for a rookie running back. I think out of all the rookie running backs, he and Jeanty are going to be the top 2, I think. But I honestly think he's probably going to have a better overall year as a rookie. I don't know about fantasy wise, but I think he's going to have the better rookie running back year out of everyone else.
I think he's the second best rookie in this class. And I'm not saying Ashton Jeanty is the best, because I have significant concerns about Ashton Jeanty being a Raider. But I think Omari and Hampton's the second best. We'll get to who I think is the best in a second. Let's round out the top 25. Number 20, we have Chuba Hubbard, just for volume reasons, I'm assuming. Number 21 is RJ Harvey in Denver. Number 22 is David Montgomery. Yes, he still plays in Detroit. Number 23 is Aaron Jones Sr. Apparently that's important to note. 24 is DeAndre Swift in Chicago, and 25 is Trayvon Henderson in New England. Of those guys, are a guy we haven't mentioned yet. Who outperforms their ranking? Let's start with Sinch here. So Hubbard, Harvey, Montgomery, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, and Trayvon Henderson, or a name we haven't mentioned, like maybe Isaiah Pacheco, who you were really high on, who outperforms where they are on this list?
Well, we haven't mentioned Pacheco, so he would be the guy that I would say first because I just love watching him run. He runs like his feet are mad at the ground, and that's what it looks like when he's stomping up and down the field.
I love him too.
Out of those other names, I would go with Harvey with Denver or Henderson with New England because I know what those other guys are, and they're fine. They're ranked appropriately, but Harvey and Henderson are rookies. Harvey lands on a team with a really good coach, really good offensive line, really good defense. If he's the guy and they're giving him the ball, he could be a superstar. Henderson with New England, Ramondre Stevenson's in front of him and has a fumble issue. So Henderson's great at picking up a blitz. He's a great receiving running back. So I think if you're in a PPR league, that could really add to his game why you'd want him. It would rank him a little higher.
Craig, who have we not talked about or in that bottom list that you really think is going to outperform?
Let's see. Let me just look at this because this list is actually pretty long. So I'm just going to look at these names.
Yeah, we actually ranked 56 different names.
Yeah.
But we just don't have enough time to get to all of them. What I would like to do is as soon as we're done with our rankings, I'd like to post these on our website. So maybe we'll start doing that after each episode releases. So
yeah, but I do like RJ Harvey. I think he's, again, potential to have a really good year. If I'm going with someone who, I've seen play a lot, I can't trust Hubbard. I just think Carolina is so terrible that I just can't do it. Out of the other
volume,
it's just the volume, and if you're behind 3 touchdowns, you're not running. I probably, out of everyone else, I probably would go with Henderson, I think, second after Harvey.
I am all on the RJ Harvey train. I don't know how I got on this train, but the more I look at the situation, second-year quarterback, second-year head coach that made Alvin Kamara into a freaking household name. I just think RJ Harvey is my rookie of the year among running backs. I believe he's going to outpace Omari and Hampton. I believe he's going to outpace Ashton Jeanty. Listen, guys, Vegas's line is bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
If Zach Bagans were here, he would tell you it's possessed.
But they have a smart quarterback now and a smart head coach now. And if you're a smart quarterback, you see where the blitz is coming. And you don't just run the play right into the blitz. You audible out of it. You see what's coming. You know what they're trying to do. Pete Carroll on the sideline will be over there arranging things, changing things. They expect us to go here, so we're going to counter and go there. I'm just saying I could see when Britt, when you and I talked about the AFC West, the West? Yes, AFC West. Yeah. We said we expect all the teams to be better. But maybe their records don't show it because they're all going to be kicking each other. I think the Raiders are going to be better. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but they're going to be better.
5 wins. That's the one team I think is not going to get better. 5 wins.
It starts at the top. And when you have ownership that knows how to win, that has brains, it's going to translate all the way down.
Since did you just say Mark Davis has brains and is a winner? The dude couldn't win at bingo.
No. The new ownership.
Mark Davis.
No. Tom Brady took over. He bought into the team. He's an owner. And now Davis stepped back and said to Brady, make the team better. So Brady is the CEO owner for all intents and purposes of the Raiders.
So does that mean his broadcasting is officially over now? Because he can't do both.
No, it's Tom Brady. He could do that too.
Oh, God.
Okay, so just a rudimentary Google search shows that Mark Davis is still the principal owners of the Vegas Raiders. So anything he's done, he is. He's technically
he is, and Brady only bought like 10% of the team. But when I don't know if it was part of the deal, but when he bought in, Davis said, "You take over and be the face of ownership."
That still makes Brady fireable.
Well, no, not when you own the team.
Not when you're a minority shareholder. It comes down to a vote. And if I'm holding 51% of the shares, I win the vote. And the Davis family is notorious for making snap decisions when they feel like somebody's making them look bad. I think the Brady era in Vegas is going to be very short-lived.
Yeah, just ask Art.
Very short-lived.
Well, it's not like they could make him sell the team. They would just take away any
Right, they would just take him out of a position of power, yes.
But
yes.
I think Davis sees that he's just not good at this. So he's like, look, can you do this? And you're right. It could be week 2 when Davis says, no, we're not doing it your way anymore. But if you look at the moves Davis has made as far as head coaches and trades, he's not bringing in Pete Carroll. That's something that a person like Brady that played in the league for the whole time he played in the league, Carroll was a good head coach in the league. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this half tongue in cheek because it's Brady, but all of that is true that Davis said here, run the show and we'll see what happens. And I mean, Peyton Manning got Denver a Super Bowl. So Brady's better than Manning. So he should be able to get the Raiders to a Super Bowl.
You got to be careful of transitive properties like that.
No, I don't.
I go back to the same point again. Barry Switzer has 2 Super Bowl rings. He's never been a good coach. I would take every head coach in the league today over Barry Switzer. So I got to be careful when I use that. Well, this guy did this and this guy did that. And Brady was great on the field and has not done a damn thing in the front office. It's his first attempt, so we don't know. But I know the Davis family. Having followed the Raiders as a Chiefs fan for over 30 years, I know the Davises are not patient, and I know that they're not good with their hair, and I would not be surprised if they are not patient enough with Tom Brady for him to make a significant move. So I'm not big on the Ashton Jeanty train. I put him at 6, and I feel like I probably overrated him. But
no, that's he's in that tier.
Fair enough. All right, really quick, our top 25, then final thoughts. We got Barkley at 1, followed by Bijan Robinson and Jameer Gibbs, but we all admit they're essentially the same guy. Derrick Henry's at 4, and Sinch would tell you he's the same guy as the first 3 as well. We have Ashton Jeanty at 5, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irvin, and Jonathan Taylor at 10. Kyron Williams comes up at 11. 12 is Chase Brown, followed by Kenny Walker from Seattle. James Cook, Breece Hall, James Conner. Kamara comes in at 17. We have Joe Mixon at 18, Omari Hampton at 19, and Chuba Hubbard at 20. The Rookie of the Year candidate, RJ Harvey, so say I, is number 21. 22 is David Montgomery, followed by Aaron Jones and DeAndre Swift. And Trayvon Henderson wraps up our top 25. I would love to have gotten through all 50 names tonight, but I'm looking at the clock. And damn, are we good at talking about these guys. So we are on to final thoughts. Sinch, you're our guest tonight. Why don't you lead us out with your final thought?
Okay, I'll try and be quick. So my final thought is running backs, you're looking at tiers. For me, 1 through 4 is the same tier. You could take any of those guys. You're not going to be disappointed. The next tier for me is approximately 5 to 13. For me, they're all the same guy. One could be better than another, but they're the same area. Then like 14 to 18 is the guy that it's like, this could be my RB2. I hope I don't have to count on him. 19 to 25 is kind of that next tier for me. And then honestly, 26 to 50 is probably your next tier because all those guys are okay.
You're in Jag territory.
My only thought on this is think about it in terms of drafting a team. Drafting, we're going to talk about all this overall themes about drafting. You need to have a plan and you go in there and drafting is fluid and you have to kind of go with the flow. If you could get 2 out of the top 4, I say do that and then you've got yourself a good running back team. But if you're looking at someone who's ranked 9th and you're thinking, do I take him or do I take that, I don't know where it would be, 8th ranked receiver, 10th ranked receiver, maybe that guy is so much better than your 9th ranked running back that you say, let me take the receiver. And then when it comes around to me again, I could take the 15th ranked running back because that guy might be the same guy anyway. So that's my final thought with running backs is it's in tiers and don't get too locked into this is my 4th and this is my 5th. So I have to draft a 4th because I ranked them higher than my 5th. I'm done.
Fair enough. Craig, what do you got?
Yeah, so for me, if you are one that practices the 0 RB thought of drafting, which is totally fine. And, sometimes it really works. But if you do that, you need to really pay attention to who other people are drafting. Because if it's all of a sudden the 7th round and you weren't paying attention and your first running back is going to be, I don't know, I'm just going to pick a random name, blah, 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 Chuba, sorry. You might have a problem. So definitely if you want to do zero RB, you can. You just really need to pay attention to who's left on the board when, because you don't want to be like, oh crap, this guy who's a 3rd running back in Tennessee is now my number 1 running back.
Absolutely. I was going to talk about zero RB for my final thought too. This year, I really think there's 3 or 4 names that headline a team. Barkley, Robinson, Gibbs, maybe Henry. If you're late in the 1st round and those names are all gone, going zero RB is not the worst idea. I would not walk into a draft this year and go, I'm going zero RB. Watch me take all the wide receivers. Wouldn't do it. But I go in there and I let the draft come to me. How many times have I said that in this freaking podcast? Let the draft come to you. If I go in there, I'm not panicking when I come up and Barkley, Robinson, and Gibbs and Henry are all off the board. I'm not panicking because that means there is a really good wideout sitting there. There's a really good wideout, yeah, because you're not going to take tight end or quarterback in the 1st round in this particular year. So don't panic. Don't walk in with a preconceived notion of what you should do. Walk in with 15 different what if scenarios in the back of your head. What if Barkley is there when I pick? What if Robinson is there when I pick? What if Gibbs is there when I pick? What if all 3 of them are there when I pick? Walk in with that kind of mentality, and you're going to find that you're going to be a lot more successful. And maybe you're not taking a running back until round 5 or 6. Maybe you're not. But if you walk in with a flexible mentality and really pay attention to what's going on around you, which is kind of what Craig said and Sinch said, then you're going to be a lot more successful. You can help us be a lot more successful by leaving a review wherever you found this podcast, probably Apple. But leave us a review. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all the feedback. You can also give us feedback via email. We are fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Again, that's fignutsdfs@gmail.com. We are also on Facebook. We are the Football Fignuts Podcast on Facebook. And that's also where you'll find the event where we're doing the live event in about 3 weeks. Gentlemen, running backs are in the books. Probably the most important preview we do every year. I thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Since this is usually the part where you say thanks, it was great to be here.
Hey guys, thanks.
Was it great
thanks
to be
for
here?
having me. I love it here.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. We'll be back next week. Sean will be coming in to talk about wide receivers. So get ready for a very long episode. There's so many wide receivers and it's Sean. But and then Sinch will be joining us again for the tight end defense kicker extravaganza in 2 weeks. And then again, the live roundtable August 20th. So thank you all for joining us. A very big hello to our friend Deb. We will talk to you next week when we talk about wide receivers. Until we speak next, my name is Britt.
My name is Craig.
I am Sinch.
And this is the Football Fignuts Podcast. Take care, everybody.